What's going on? What y'all doing today? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I gotta clean these off. I am your girl, Dr. T.O.D., and I'm coming to you with Coffee with Dr. T. Don't forget, coffee. I don't know what just happened. Something just kind of like glitched just now. Not sure what that was, but let's try this again. Not sure if you can hear me. I hope you can. Let me just check my mic. We are in it's been raining. Mic looks like it's on. Test, test, test. Cool. We're good. Good morning. Yeah, y'all, it's early and it's rainy here on the East Coast. And so let's get started. So today we are going to talk about growth. And before we get started, I am your girl, Dr. T.O.D. I am the CEO and founder of Logic IQ Inc., as well as a new venture that's a year. You guys, a year. We've made it through the year. Sustain Your Biz Academy and Sustain Your Biz LLC. So I started Coffee with Dr. T because you know, my best friend. I always talk about her. We get together Saturday mornings and chop it up and just kind of go over like our week and what we're doing and what we've done, where we're trying to go, lift each other up, you know, to help us kind of continue our friendship. We may not talk every day, but we make it a point to talk on Saturday. So, yeah, and I'm super excited. I have a special guest coming on this morning as well. So, y'all know I'm trying to get this going where I can also, it's just not only you're not only hearing my voice, but you're hearing voices of others. And that is the goal of my platform. And so, if you can see up here in the right hand corner, we have our Sharp Sexy Sisters event that is coming up in 2 weeks. We are super excited about that. I'm going to put the link down at the bottom. What is it? So it's a universal empowerment event where we are actually helping women, men who are entrepreneurs and wanting to be able to provide a platform, particularly for women. But however, we can't negate the voices of our brothers. Um, so I'm getting texts this morning. Give me 1 second. So, so hold on a minute, just sending text, going back and forth. We're just so super excited. Um, Let me just see here on. So yeah, so say hey, say what's going on. Let me know who's watching today as we begin. I know it's early and you probably are in the bed. So, one of the things I want to start talking about is that my word for the year is hope. Um, and so I've been making up different things that is related to the HOPE. And so today we're going to talk about the E part, and I've labeled that as encouragement. Encouragement. And so the foundation is I woke up this morning and was like, God, what do you want me to talk about today? you know and some of the stuff is planned, um and some of the events that I have when I come on with you is inspired by God. Like, I do my devotion and I say, what does God want me to talk about today? So this week was somewhat difficult and it had its eves and flows um, with emotions, business, and um, just some other things that were going on, right? So I was thinking about this morning. Um, I wrote down, this came to me, and I wrote down, as a tree grows. So those four words, as a tree grows, write that down, as a tree grows. So then I started processing, right? I started processing where exactly is that? What does that actually mean? Do, say, whatever, right? So I'm just going to see if I can share my screen here. See if I can share my screen. So I want to share this with you because I found it this morning. And but before I go back, let me go with before I share this with you, I'm going to go with the foundational scripture that I found, and that was in First Corinthians 3:6. And it states, I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the growth. Okay. I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the growth. So we're going to kind of go in and out of those today. And so the one thing that I say, or say to myself, right, and maybe even encourage others is, in order for you to grow, you have to plant the seed that God has given you. So that means that, um, if God has given you a vision or God has told you to do something or move on something, you have to start the planting process, right? You have to plant it in order for it to grow. So, one of the things that I was reminded this week is that God is giving me the vision of sustain your biz. It's God is giving me the vision of sharp, sexy sisters, and has always given me that logic, I care vision, right? Which I've been in practice for over 23 years. Praise God. Um, and just growing that, right? So I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the growth. Okay. So we're going to dive into that a little bit more. So I'm going to show you this real quick. Let me just find it. Y'all know I have like 50 million tabs open for y'all this morning. So let me get that up for you. Here we go. So, as the scripture says, you wrote that down. I think we got somebody in backstage ready to go. Um, so hopefully we'll be able to hear it. That was the other thing we had this week. We had some technical difficulties, but you know what? We're gonna keep it moving. All right. So let me see if I can share this, and then I will bring Lakeisha on so we can kind of have a conversation today. So let me share my screen. So I tell y'all, you won't get the same thing all the time. Dr. T likes to mix it up. So hopefully you can see the screen here. So this is a quote I found by activist Wangi um, Maya. And it says, and I have one here, what to do next. Okay, so you got as a tree grow, and then what to do next. And we have the foundational scripture of First Corinthians 3:6. Okay. I'm sorry, First Corinthians, I was right. First Corinthians 3:6, I was right. Okay. I was thinking of John 3:16. So until you dig a hole, you plant a tree, you water it and make it survive. You haven't done a thing, you are just talking. Okay. So if you haven't planted, if you haven't watered, and if you haven't really helped it to nurture and grow, you're just talking and you haven't done a thing. And so this is where I'm coming to you from. This is the perspective that I'm coming to you from today, is that we need to learn how to plant. And part of that planting growth, or that tree growth, I'll take this off, or that tree growth, if you think of a tree, right? It starts off small and then it blossoms out. And then you have the branches of the tree. Where am I going? Okay. We're growing. And those branches are extensions. I think I'm also reminded of, I believe it's Proverbs 54, where we talk about extending the tent. And so you have those branches, right? And so, in order for a tree to survive, you need to get people that's going to connect you. You need people in your life that's going to help you grow. And then they become an extension of you. Hear me. They become an extension of you. And so, as you are developing, as you are planting, you have to realize that everybody that you come into contact or connection with may not be there to help you grow. Okay. And so when we are talking about the growth mindset, there are a few steps that I want you to think about, and we're going to talk about today. And one of the things that we have is that growth perspective. So I hope that we'll be able to connect today. If not, I will definitely bring Lakeisha back at another time. She is with LM Experience, and she is helping us grow our Sharp Sexy Sisters event. And so I'm going to just step off for 1 second and see if we can get Lakeisha on. I pray that I can hear her. Um, and let me just take this off. You ready, Lakeisha?
Good
Awesome.
morning.
Good. Yay, I can hear you. See, I knew I had to turn this computer off last night and reboot it. See, you guys. I was like, listen, we're gonna get this together because I we
Yes,
about to have Sharp Sexy Sisters come up, and we have our speakers lined up. And so today, um, Lakeisha, before we really get into it, before I dive in, if you haven't watched before, I know you've been in and out, and we've just met recently through another connector, right?
right.
Um, I come on 8 o'clock every morning, Saturdays, and we talk about sharps. It's more of an encouragement type of thing.
Right.
Um, so you got to have your coffee. Do you have your coffee or your tea?
No, I will make
Okay.
sure I have that next time.
Awesome. Awesome.
Have me
And
some
so,
tea. I love tea.
and so guys, we are thankful. We are thankful to Almighty God that she's able to be here also because she is in Texas, right?
Yes, ma'am.
and and then they've had some storms. So last night she was saying, they've had some storms, and she wasn't sure whether or not she'll be able to connect. I'm like, okay, it's okay. And so part of that tree growth, right? We talked about that is growing a tree takes time.
Yeah.
Growing a tree takes time. So before we dive in, introduce introduce our viewers. Tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay, well, thank you, Dr. T, for inviting me on. It is truly like an honor and a blessing. And you blessed me on yesterday. I know we'll talk about that, but you truly blessed me on yesterday. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Lakeisha Mosley. I am the owner and event producer for the LM Experience, which now is a digital agency. I've been in business about 8 years. Last year during COVID, I retired myself from my grocery retail management job to do this full time. And so it's just been a huge blessing to be able to help people as Dr. T and even yourselves, showcase your products and services globally now in an environment where a pandemic is occurring, but people can still see you and they can still see your products and services. And I can also help you grow your brand visibly and profitably. So thank you for having me, Dr. T.
You're welcome. So yeah, so actually this was through shout outs to Mosaic Inc. and Leslie George. This was another connection through that tribe that I'm building related to these online streets. Me and Lakeisha will most likely be working a little bit more on how to really brand this and move it forward.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we forget that what God gave us is for us.
Right.
It wasn't for anybody else. And so if we're finding people that's going to be in alignment, last year was my alignment word, like that was last year. So this year is hope.
Hmm.
And so I've been finding different things throughout the week to really um, what's H, what's O, what's P, what's E, right? So today's and then I shifted because God told me, listen, you're in seminary, you know, you need to start showing people that, you're for me. Right. And so originally when I started out, I wasn't doing Bible stuff. I wasn't giving quotes. I wasn't, doing all that.
Right.
And then I was informing people that there was going to be a shift. There's going to be a
Hmm.
shift. And I made that shift in January where I really started putting together that foundation for some spiritual growth as well. And so that's what we're talking about when we're talking about as a tree grows. And there can be a plethora of things that you can talk about with the growth of trees. However, you and I both did something that that's needed. And
Yes.
that was one, we dug a hole and we planted. And now we're trying to nurture it and keep it alive and keep it growing. So y'all don't laugh at me. I got my reading glasses because I left my regular glasses upstairs. Y'all don't laugh at me. Lakeisha don't laugh at me.
Look, it's all good.
And so Lakeisha, like, I'm gonna tell her business. She was like, Dr. T, I'm gonna have my camera off. I'm like, how's she gonna have her camera
She was
off?
like, no, ma'am, I'm not having that. I was like, okay.
I'm like, how's she gonna have her camera off? And we supposed to be talking to the people this morning.
Right. But I love that even in that space, it's a gentle nudge. And sometimes we need that and we don't think we do. So thank you for that too.
Yeah, yeah. So the first one we're going to talk about, the first thing we're going to talk about today is, I had my stuff and now it's not off. All right. So you guys know that I'm really devoted to spiritual growth. So we're going to talk about spiritual growth, just one thing from there. I gotta touch on that. Then we're going to talk about some achievement growth, action goals, right? Because Lakeisha can probably talk about that. And then here's one thing. The last thing we're going to talk about is how to improve your personal life and avoiding procrastination. I'm gonna pick one of those because that's a whole topic in itself. So I can say right now I'm devoted to my spiritual growth. And so as you can see in that scripture, it states, I planted, Apollos watered, and God grew, helped with the growth. And so, part of being an entrepreneur is to have a spiritual foundation. You just have to. And I know that for me, I'm a Christian. So that is my spiritual foundation. I know that I can do all things with Christ that strengthens me. Right. And so it's I can say that my spiritual growth matters to me because it's my foundation for life. And as I grow spiritually, I become more capable of handling the challenges with a winning attitude. And as you guys know, one of the things that I talk about with Sustain Your Biz, and I say that after my lives at 5, is we want to help you win. And what does winning mean? Welcoming in the new you, investing in yourself, and to never, never give up on you. So, Lakeisha, let's talk about your spiritual growth. How important is that to you?
Oh, it's super important. I recall when um, God told me to step out from my job, I was like, wait, what? I make $8,000 a year with bonuses. Uh, why? And then I started reading this book called Dangerous Prayers by Craig Groeschel. And God started to speak to me on some things. And so I started praying this really dangerous prayer of God break me, God send me, God use me. And yes, ma'am, did he do that? I wrote this prayer and said, God, reveal what holds my mind hostage. Show me how to show up for you. Because I think I was doing it in my own way. I was doing Lakeisha, but when you're a Christian and you are a faith-based entrepreneur, see, we got to be careful when we use those words. You have to impart that. And so I learned very quickly that I had to go back to the creator. I can't create nothing until I go back to him. He is the one who has to impart to me what I need to be doing. And when I tell you he broke me, he literally broke me. I felt like the Israelites when God led them out and led them to the promised land. He was giving me manna just enough every single day. There wasn't this plethora. So people think when you're an entrepreneur, you start off with, big money. And, I hate that social media really paints that picture. But for me, he was giving me just enough manna for the day. And so I had to really lean on him. Still, I had to really trust. What he told me. And then when that doubt and that fear came in, I would just go back to that prayer that I had wrote that said, God, reveal what holds my mind hostage, show me what I fear the most, go ahead, God, reveal it to me. And as he would reveal it to me, I would just start to pray over it, just constantly praying over it. And so spiritual growth, growing in my faith is important to me. My language has changed, how I present myself, publicly and privately has changed. Cause I'm like you, Dr. T, I want people to know that I'm not just talking about it. I be about it. If I say I'm a child of God, then I want you to know that anytime you interact with me, that's what's coming out, and that I am a representation of Him. And so I think as we grow in our businesses, they really won't flourish until we grow spiritually as well. I know that was like a long answer, but that was like
No, that's, I mean, and you know what? And so hear me out, you guys. This, I planted this and God revealed that to me. I planted what I'm doing back in 2015. So I'll tell you a little story. I met someone who was in the media, has a media agency, and I was like, I got an idea. And so we started really thinking about this idea. Um, and it was supposed to be a television show. And, it was supposed to be on health and wellness, empowerment, family, kids. We literally came up with 13 episodes as a pilot, and things of that nature. But then, when you start really diving into trying to do your own television show, where are you gonna get the money?
right.
you know and how much is all this gonna cost? Did we even talk about that before we even went through all of that?
Yeah.
So so then it was just like, okay, well, maybe we can transform this, everything that we already did, to just create a platform. I mean, a podcast. Lakeisha, when I said that, it was like that person went ghost. Uh-huh. You see your face? That person,
Mm,
that person went ghost. And then I'm glad that I had an NDA done. Remember, y'all, get your NDAs. I
yes.
had an NDA done and everything like that. I was like, give me all the property that we created because I need it. So we had to track him down and I had to get all my stuff. And then I was like, I did that. So in the midst of the pandemic and I was starting to do this online stuff, right? I was like, what can I do? I went back to that folder and bam. So everything that I am creating came out of that seed that was
Mhm.
planted. Now, you guys, listen to this. And I think my pastor kind of preached on that, and then or somebody preached on that, and I had to go back. A bamboo tree, you plant it doesn't grow right away.
No, no.
My God, it doesn't grow right away. It could
Mhm.
take up to 5 to maybe 10 years before you even see one sprout of
Right.
that bamboo tree. Y'all hear me? But it has to be planted first.
Yeah.
It still has to be watered. hmm Yeah. So, what is it that you guys want to do for your life? What has God told you to do? It could be something. it can be something that's small that ends up growing into a larger thing. Think big about what God is trying to tell you. Think big and being brave about what God is trying to do here. Lakeisha is an example of saying, hey, and I'm not saying entrepreneurship is for everybody.
Right.
However, this Sharp Sexy Sisters event that's coming up, you go to Sharp Sexy Sisters dot online and get your ticket. But what this is a way for you to say, I got something in me. Let me come to this event and see how I can blossom from it. You can take whatever nuggets that you have out of it so that it can be. Now, my platform is a platform for growth. And
Right.
that's what the TV show was for, is to help entrepreneurs. One, there was a segment on there was that we would showcase entrepreneurs
Mm-hmm.
so that we can let the people see that this person is trying to grow their business or they need support. It's about small business. You know why? Because I didn't see anybody doing that. I didn't
Right.
see anybody really going down grassroots and saying, hey, I got a platform for you to come on. It's yes, it's a small investment, right? Because winning means welcoming in new you, investing in yourself, and to never, never give up on you. That's what the end it said, never give up. And so when we are talking about that, the same thing with you, Lakeisha, you're helping small businesses
Right.
grow. Tell us about more that you do.
Well, the main thing that I do and that I absolutely love is creating these virtual experiences for clients. And for me, it was a new thing when COVID first hit. I had 5 clients on the books with 5 major events in major cities. Like I literally was going to be traveling on last year. And so when the pandemic hit, it was like, okay, what are you going to do? So, as a small business owner myself, an entrepreneur, you have to find creative ways in order to keep your clients happy, keep them engaged so that they can keep their audiences engaged. And so, for me, I had to figure out a way to take the in person event and make it an online experience and not something that was just, the norm. It had to be outside of the box. And so, for me, it had to be totally dependent on God. Like, God, tell me, like, what do I need to do? What do I have to, impart? And so prayer life, yes, definitely. I just really began to pray and ask him to reveal to me what I needed to do. And he kind of tapped into areas that I didn't even know I had any expertise in. Like,
Girl, we're going to
bring
go back to that. We're going to go back to that because, go ahead.
no, I'm
Sorry.
just saying he brought out things I didn't really like. Now I look at my wall, my chart, when my clients and stuff, and I'm like, I did that. God really imparted me to be able to do that. I mean, it's amazing. So I do a lot. I definitely can take your in-person event to a virtual experience. We try to impart a whole lot of different things, virtual photo booth, engagement. I mean, we just try to do a whole bunch of things just to make it, yours, exclusively for you.
And I think that's important because that was one of the things that we were kind of working with this week is that if God imparted a vision for you to implement, and I'll even say, maybe even taking it where you are a creator of sorts, maybe I think let's even go back with the pandemic. You are a seamstress, or you dibble and dabble in sewing, and
Mhm.
then God says, you know what? Let me make something. Let me make these masks and help out. Do you know how many businesses that really started this year? So, what with Sharp Sexy Sisters is about is saying, hey, let us take a look at what you've imparted, what you
Mhm.
started. And let's take this quarter's theme is ignite your passion and turn it into a profit. We're going to have authors. We have two or three authors. We have someone coming in to talk about health. We're going to have a comedian, a Christian comedian, come in. We're going to have music that's going to be presented by my cousin. So I'm reaching out to people that I
Right.
believe that's going to be able to really have a fun event. And you know what? At this point, I'm like, we talked about this yesterday offline about the numbers.
Mhm.
And I'm reminded about my spiritual mom who passed away from COVID, from that was really influential in my life as I grew at the church that I'm at with
Mhm.
everything that I do. And she's like, "Don't worry about the numbers. Everyone that's supposed to be there is supposed to be
Will
there.
be there. Yes.
That's it. So
Yes.
get y'all tickets so y'all can be in the
Yes. It's about
place."
it's about impact. And again, you want to impact people. You want to empower. So if that's three people, that's the three people God sent. If it's
Yep.
1,500 people, it's the 1,500 He want me
Yeah.
to impact.
Yep. So we talked about spiritual life, right? We talked about spiritual life a little bit. So um I think Lakeisha talked about a lot of that. So I'm just gonna leave with three self-reflecting questions. No, the first one, how much time do I spend daily in prayer and meditation? Number two, how is my spiritual growth tied to other areas of my life? And number three, what time of day could I set aside for reflection? So these are the three questions that you can possibly answer throughout the week. And then come back and let me know. So how much time do I spend daily in prayer or meditation? You guys, I don't even know how much time I spend. But
Right.
I do note that I dedicate at least my morning quiet time, like when nobody is up, to prayer and meditation.
Yep.
But then, y'all know, for y'all that know me, I'm always listening to gospel music, but that's part of your meditation. I think I'm always worshiping. What about you, Lakeisha? How much time do you spend?
Well, I block off most of my mornings. So my mornings consist from like 6:30 to 9. That is my time for prayer, meditation, journaling, my devotion, and then I throw in a workout. I'm trying to be more consistent with the workouts, but workout. And then I do reflections in the morning and in the evening. And so I'm very intentional about my time. He's very intentional with how he blesses me and the things that he gives me. So I feel like I need to be more intentional about my time. But I'm like you too, throughout the day, I'm listening to gospel music, or I'm even listening to just, meditations and things. I use an app called Glorify, and it gives a devotional that you can listen to if you
Oh, I
get
need
in the
that.
mood.
What's
Yeah,
that called? Glorify? I'm
it's called Glorify.
gonna put that in the chat.
Yes, I love that app.
How's it spelled? Glorify. Just how it's spelled, right?
Yep,
Glorify.
just how it's spelled.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll
And it
put
was
that in the chat.
created by I think one of the lead singers for Hillsong.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, so it's really good. It's devotions, it's music, it's prayers, it's declarations in there. And I started writing out the declarations recently, um, so that I can put them on a wall. I'm gonna make an affirmation wall. So
Yes.
I really spend time doing that. I use the Shine app for
Okay.
mental wellness. So I spend a lot of time with it, and I have to. I cannot do this without it. I can't.
Amen.
I tried,
She said,
but I
I
couldn't.
can't do this without it, y'all. This listen. So yeah, so the other piece of that is also to You guys get that ticket because yeah, get that ticket and let us know what you're thinking about this conversation today. And let you know if you need to be on Coffee with Dr. T. Let us know. We also have Live at 5, also on Clubhouse. So we have a few platforms that we have here. And so, how is my spiritual growth tied to other areas of my life? I think we kind of talked about that a little bit. And then, what time of day could I set aside for reflection? We also touched that as well. So, that's the spiritual component, you guys. And the foundation for today, let me just reset what we're talking about. We are talking about my theme for today is how a tree grows. And a couple of things that the scriptural foundation is um, I planted Apollo's water, but God gave me growth. Okay.
Mhm.
And so then the next thing, here you go. You ready to shout? You ready to shout?
Yes.
Because now we talking. Now you have this. You have that first one. You have, okay, how is a tree going to grow? And then you're thinking, oh, I can't do this. This is going to be hard. This is going to be difficult. I can't do this. But Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through him who strengthens me. And that is through the ESV version that came from. So listen, guys, you can do it. If I can do it, if Lakeisha could do it, you can do it also. And one of the things that I say is that you can do it is because you have to have the foundation. And part
Yes.
of your foundation should be number one, your spiritual life, and then
Hmm.
a plan. And let me tell y'all, and Lakeisha confirmed it last night with me. Also I may have given her confirmation, but she also confirmed with me that everything that I'm doing is that I'm doing correctly. I mean, it may not be perfect. Let me go there.
Yes.
I'm gonna go there. But everything that I'm doing has been done correctly.
Hmm.
And that's what she gave to me yesterday. So although there may be naysayers of how I execute, I was told by Lakeisha yesterday when it came to planning this event that I am doing it correctly. And the
Absolutely.
way, the one thing that I needed Lakeisha for was to continue to help me with execution because I am still moving correctly, but I want to start now perfecting. I
Yes.
want to start perfecting what I'm doing so that I can help and reach more entrepreneurs, more Christian businesses, more, so
Yeah.
that we can have a platform here for growth,
Right.
the growth mindset. So, tell a little bit more about how you can effectively take um, a that was done in person now into the virtual space. Well, know what? I'm gonna stop. Wait, before let me tell y'all. When she gave me my folder, I was like, ah. It was such a aha moment when she gave me my folder, you guys, because I was like, I'm not the one to. Everything is here, and I'm
Yeah.
glad I did this. So I'm already going to answer the question. Everything is here. She lays it out for you so you can take it from here to there. Tell them a little bit. I'm not going to give it away because we're going to
Right.
talk about that at the conference, at the summit. Tell them just a snippet of why you do that.
I think what's important is from being familiar with what you've always been doing. And I think that it's okay to keep the old, but also to add in some new. And so for me, it's important that my client feels comfortable with what they're doing because this still is a new space. I know we're rolling, 2021 is still somewhat of, pandemic, but this space is still kind of new and people are still trying to test the waters. And so for me, it's to get it from inception to execution, and I just really just listen. I just really listen to the client of what they want. and how they want this to go. And then, I feel like my zone of genius is to be able to take that and put it into a real life experience, not only for themselves, but for, their audience as well.
Yeah. So thank you. So you guys, I see who's watching, say hey, say what's going on. What is it that you want in your life and how you want that executed, whether it's business, whether it's life goals. This is what the summit is about. It's going to impact so many lives that we are trying to grow this. So hold on. And we talked about that. Let me get my other notes up here. So don't laugh at me, guys. I gotta put my readers on. The eye doctor wearing readers. Okay. So I know for me, one of the things that she helped me with is to really focus on the most major goals that are achievement goals.
Hmm.
And so the one thing that I know that she helped me with was actionable goals. So let me explain what actionable goals are or action goals are. These describe specific actions that you take to accomplishing achievement goals. Examples include meet with a counselor, attending a workshop like we're producing, learn a new job or skill. We're gonna take that because we both talked about you talked about there's things that you learned that you didn't even know that was inside you, and
Yeah.
contact all of the people that's in your database that may be able to help you achieve that goal. That's your tribe. That's your
Hmm.
the people that may be able to do that. So those are actionable goals. Then the next one is I'm going to go from actionable goals to incredible goals. So these goals are highly optimistic, maybe far-fetched,
Hmm.
maybe uncommonly aggressive. Examples including become a CEO.
Right.
That's what this event is about. Okay.
Yes.
Become a CEO, write or become a best-selling author. We have Leslie George that is going to be speaking, but she's going to be speaking and probably putting it there. Win a Nobel Prize? I think we can, right?
Hmm.
These are some of the things, right? These describe visions of ultimate success.
Right.
If you set such goals, always supplement them with the other immediate and achievable goals that help you make progress toward these dreams.
Yes.
So, and then it's okay to announce when you've achieved those goals. It's not selfish
Please.
or boastful to say
Right.
that I've achieved those goals. For example, we are now celebrating graduates. Do you know how
Mhm.
many people don't graduate? Do you know how it's hard to get through high school and college
Yes.
and masters and doctorate degrees? So when you achieve your goals, you need to say, I've done it. So y'all, I
Mhm.
finished my first year of seminary. Hallelujah.
Yes.
Lord. So yeah, so let's talk about that. So let's talk about the actionable skills, and one of them is learning other skills. Let's talk about that for a second and how important that is in
I
your
think
growth in the growth mindset.
yes. And so you can't grow unless you move forward. And you can't move forward unless you have actionable steps and you have a benchmark. How do you know you've done something different or you've done something correctly? Not perfect, because again, there's no perfection in this. We strive for it. We have to, it's imparted in us to strive for it. But there
Yep,
has to be actionable steps, goals, and benchmarks. And so that's what I create. I help you see that, oh, you took this from inception. Now it's on paper. You can see, oh, I've hit this goal. I've secured my speakers. Oh, I've hit this goal. I've secured my sponsors. These are all things that I think are measurable. And you have to get to the science of all of that. I know people are like, oh my gosh, data. Data helps us. We
yeah,
can't move without it.
yeah, yeah, and that's key. That I like what you said about that. Um, like I said, that really spoke to me yesterday as well. Um, and so now, with that, y'all need to stop procrastinating.
Mm-hmm.
Who's
Please.
procrastinating here? Raise your hand. Put some
Mm-hmm.
emoji hands up. Who is procrastinating? This is why we want to ignite your path. We want to put some fire underneath you so that you can have the tools that you need to go. Okay.
Yes.
So let's face it, dealing with the obstacles of day-to-day living can drive us a little crazy, right? Without proper organization, this could make rolling out of bed a problem of its own. We sometimes find it difficult focusing on one thing at a time. Find that find that an organization could turn into a disaster,
Mm-hmm.
right? You want to learn how to manage your time, actions, and overall arrangements. Successful people know how to get ahead. They plan, they prioritize, and always, here's the key, always follow through.
Yes.
We're going to go back to that. Help me remember that, because there are many services to help you to
Mm-hmm.
organize and control your life. But
Yeah.
here are some of the suggestions that we can start with. Number one, stop procrastinating.
Yes.
Number two, allow more free time to do what you want. Number three, give yourself peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Be- those are the three things that you need to, in order to grow, in order for that tree to grow, that God implanted in you, for that vision for you to either start your business, write a book, go back to school,
Right.
whatever that might be. Um, you know, do a project around the house. Declutter. That's what I'm going to work on this weekend. Declutter. Y'all don't want to see this desk. Declutter. But I have my piles. Don't mess with my piles.
Right. That's
Declutter.
me.
Um, declutter. So I want to go back to what I had said was, what did I say? Did you remember what I say? Um, Without the proper organization, this could be rolling out of bed. Sometimes you find it difficult to focus on one thing at a time. Um, find that in find um, that you must get it done,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then um, follow through. That's what I want to talk about. Follow through. And
Yes.
so with me, God wanted me to do this. Now I held off on doing it because it was April. It was supposed to be done in April, but I knew that I needed to follow through. Let's talk about that. Following through with what you're committed to doing.
You have to. Number one, I'm finna get real biblical. God has given you a gift, and He has given you a gift not for you. So when we talk about follow through, sometimes it's tied to our purpose. Your purpose ain't even for you, boo. It is for somebody. It is something somebody else has been praying for that God has imparted on you. So when we procrastinate and we don't follow through, that's disobedience to Him. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, it is a disservice to the people that you are commissioned to
To
serve.
serve. Mm. Say
We
that.
kill that
Say
dream,
that one more time. You remember what you said?
that
I
our
know
dream,
you talk.
our purpose.
Uh huh. No, 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 no. That last part you just said.
Oh, about how when we don't do what we're supposed to do, we don't serve. We don't give the people we serve what they're supposed to have. Like we stop them. It's a chain effect, ladies and gentlemen. It's a domino effect. Like that's why when Dr. T was talking about connections, we're all connected for a reason. It was ordained by God for us to meet. However we met, it was all ordained by Him. He put all of that together, and I think sometimes
Yep.
we don't think about that. Like, oh,
Yep.
I met Dr. T. No, I met Dr. T for a purpose.
For a
What she had been
purpose.
praying for was tied to my purpose. My purpose is to
Mm.
create these experiences for people to be able to put their events globally.
I
People
can't
all
shout
over
right
the
now.
world can see it. People all over the
Yeah.
world can see your event.
Yeah. 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 And that's where I'm trying to go. That's what I'm trying to grow. We are leveling this up. We are
Yeah.
making this better, to provide a better experience for those that are
Right.
in attendance. We are actually leveling up the platform that we're using.
Yes.
Um, Although it's a little techie for me, but I'm going to learn it. And let's talk about that. Learning different skills.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
you just said you didn't even know that you had it in me. Like me, I've been getting people saying, Dr. T, I love your videos. I'm like, what? Like,
Right.
yes, your videos are like really, really good. And I'm
Right.
like, really? Like, I
Yes.
just learned how to put videos together, and there's
Right.
probably people that go to school for 4 years and I've learned it in a year.
And yours
But
probably look way better than theirs. See,
not to
sometimes
say
we
still go to school. Don't don't
yeah.
don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Still go to
I'm not
school. I'm not
discouraging
I'm
that.
not going to school for that.
Right.
However, but
Right.
yeah.
There are some things that God just imparts on us. I mean, I don't care how long you go to school. Um, and I'm not knocking school. School is needed. I have 2 degrees that I feel like I'm not even using, but God uses some parts of those. But as I began to pray that prayer, God revealed to me what holds my mind hostage. Fear holds my mind hostage.
Mm,
Nobody's gonna want to do that. Who's gonna want a virtual photo booth? Well, I sell it out every weekend, pretty much. Even if they don't book me for an event, they book my virtual photo booth.
okay,
Who?
I need to know about that virtual photo.
Yeah,
We gonna talk offline about that. The
yeah,
virtual photo booth.
yes, ma'am. So it's like when you go to an in-person event, you want to get in a photo booth. But what are the pros and cons of that? Well, if say your event was in person, Dr. T, and you're given a 30-minute break, the line for the photo booth is long.
Yeah,
Everybody's trying to get their photo booth picture. And then you get a picture, that you have to like take another picture of to put it on social media. Well, then someone thought of an invention of virtual photo booths. So, Lakeisha, how can you impart that into your business because you do events and people like memorable pieces from their event? Okay,
yeah.
girl, go get you a virtual photo booth. And now, even though you're on a virtual platform, you can use your computer's camera or your cell phone to take a virtual photo about where you've been at somebody's event and put it
You see
on
there?
social media.
You see there? So as we are transforming this and really taking the next level to go online, um, these are some of the things that you can do as
Mhm.
you are creating spaces for yourself
Right,
online. Again, I'm creating a platform that I'm teaching and helping other people grow. It's not
right,
about me, right? It's not
right,
about me. So this is why I'm asking, my tribe to kind of come on every now and then. We all have busy lives, and I thank Lakeisha
right.
for coming on. It is an hour earlier where she's at. so,
Yeah,
so she found it not robbery to really make sure that she came on because I really wanted to highlight. And LM Experience is one of our sponsors
yes,
for Sharp Sexy Sisters. So I am grateful for Lakeisha to sponsor our event. So this is no joke, you guys. This is an
right.
event that I'm putting on to really help and empower people. We're going to have a person talk about relationships.
Hmm.
Relationships is key when we are talking about entrepreneur, when we're talking
Yeah,
about if you're just working a 9 to 5 and you're a CEO or you're high level business
right,
person,
right.
we're going to talk about what it means to be in a relationship, what it means to be in a relationship before you commit to marriage.
Hmm.
Because as a CEO or as an entrepreneur, all of those things intertwine. And,
Yeah,
maybe there were certain things that I should have known before I said I do. So we're going to have a speaker to kind of talk about that.
right.
Hey, and we have Tina on. She's watching. From on Facebook. Everybody's having some power issues, so thank you. Yep. So Tina is on. She said that, hey, Tina. She is also going to be one of our speakers. She said she had lost
Yay.
signals, and she's going to be talking about health. So y'all know, as an optometrist, I had to get somebody on to talk about health related stuff.
Right,
So you
right.
guys, here's the issue. So when I talked to Lakeisha, you know what she told me? She said, "You are the host. I'm not teaching. I am trying to get people to teach you guys. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just hosting."
Exactly.
So, yeah, she told me, "Dr. T, it is too much for you to
Yeah.
try to teach and host." And she literally had to get that whip and say,
Yeah.
"Mm-mm,
Yeah.
you have to host. You are the founder and CEO of Sustain Your
Yes.
Biz LLC. It's a platform to be able to help entrepreneurs and others to be able to have a sustainable life and a
Yeah.
sustainable business, and providing them with the foundational principles and having a plan. I'm focused on business planning and making sure that we create a space where we are helping your vision thrive. So as
Yeah.
I grow and connect to others, the my connection is your connection. So
Yes.
Lakeisha is now part of our tribe. So my connection is your connection. And wherever we can help people grow, we will. We also have now Devra, also now being a sponsor as well. We have Logic Eye Care, of course, you know, the vision. We have um, Multi Furious Man is also sponsoring. He will be talking. John will is actually one of our professors at our academy, so he's going to talk about finding your niche and how to develop that. He has an incredible story about our engagement over the year. Within this past year, how I just asked a simple question and he came on board, and now he has a course in the academy on how to start your own podcast. Go
Mm-hmm.
figure. So
That's awesome.
we'll be laying that out as well. We'll be launching his course at the event too. So you'll hear more about that. But you got to come to the event in order to
Gotta
hear
come.
these. You got to come in order to hear more about LM experience. You got to come to hear our speakers, our authors, and let us know again what um let us know what you may want to see as
Yeah.
part of um, Coffee with Dr. T and with Live at 5, and maybe with some teachings that you may want. And it's going to be up to me to find that, investigate that, and grab people into our network. This is a
Yeah.
tribe that we're trying to um, this is a tribe. Thank you, Tina. She says it sounds like a great lineup. Y'all know
Oh
I can't
yeah.
see. So yeah, so listen, get your ticket today. It is going to be an amazing experience. We are going to really push the envelope just a little bit further, or actually, I'm going to even say we're going to kick the can down the road just a little bit further so that we can end up with the people that are really going to do amazing things in their
Mhm.
lives, you
I'm
know?
glad you said that, Dr. T, when you said kick the can. I want people to think when you say sustain your biz, you have to be disruptive. And that was the word that God kept imparting to me. And I'm like, disruptive? Disruption. I'm a brown girl from a small town in Louisiana that wasn't supposed to make it out. I wasn't supposed to be anything. And here I stand before you as a full time entrepreneur where I am sustaining myself and my lifestyle. And so disruption is what keeps you prevalent. You have to be disruptive. Now, when I say disruption, I'm not saying you have to be bad. And I want us to kind of change connotations of words. But disruptive is you're going into an industry and you are tearing things up. Think about Facebook. They're one of the largest places for content creation, but they don't create content. Think about Airbnb. They're one of the largest real estate places, but they don't own any real estate. That is a disruptive business model. And that's what Dr. T is trying to help you all get to be. I want you to think about this. Every brand must have a movement. Every movement must have a moment. And every moment that you interact with someone, it has to be disruptive. I'm going to stop preaching, Dr. T. I'm going to stop.
Yeah, because you about to have me shout back here. That's why I was like, let me get her that full screen because somebody needs to hear other than my voice. Because you about to, I wish I could play some,
Right?
right?
We say
We
change the game, but let's do it. Let's stop talking
that's
about
it.
it. God
Let's
is
stop
calling
talking
us
about
out
it.
to stop doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's really do it. So, I have some other ideas, some other things I probably want to present to you, but we'll talk about that offline. Um, but
Tina put the, she
what
put
Tina?
the little keys.
I can what she what
I love Tina already, right?
let me tell you. So Tina will be on next week, I think. But she's too funny. And we gotta go. I'm sorry, we've been on too long. But Tina, let me tell you, Tina said that I've stretched her with her being a part of this. And it was good to hear that
Yes.
because I was stretched and I think that's part of it, being able to be around women. And that's going to be, I think that may be the topic for our next summit. So like I said,
Mhm.
I'm not conventional with what I do.
Right.
So the
Yeah.
next summit may be the topic of, um, I'm not even going to put it out there. Just know that it's a topic
Just
for
know it's gonna
Black
come.
women. I'm not going to put it because then somebody might steal my topic. I'm
You,
not going to put it out there.
yes. It's like you
I'm
put
not
your
going to
hand
put
up. Nothing.
let me but y'all know that yeah. So and it may be a hybrid. No, not maybe, it will be a hybrid of both
Mhm.
a virtual retreat and a in-person retreat. Let's try to make that happen.
Mhm.
Let's
Yeah.
try to make that happen. Have you done that before?
Yeah, I mean now with the world opening up, and I'm not fully comfortable with that, but hybrid is definitely something a lot of people are trying out. Small numbers,
Yeah,
in
let's do that.
person,
Let's
and
do that.
then the rest is virtual, and
Yep.
that's another skill that I'm like, okay, God, hold up, your girl just got virtual down. Now you talking about let's okay then,
So
but you gotta be
So hold on.
obedient.
What you say? Disruptive is great. That's
You
that,
gotta be
that
disruptive. Yes, right.
so that's what we're gonna do.
You
But
gotta do that.
thank you so much, Lakeisha, for coming on. This was a great experience. And
Yes, thank
we
you.
came on and we went over our time. And I really like that because y'all probably like, why you like going over your time? It's because I usually have 30 minutes, right? And so with having a guest on, it allows us to really have a conversation. So it's
Yeah,
not always about me
right.
saying whatever. So I'm going to leave y'all with this, as always, is, start planting today,
Yes.
start watering today, seek God's face so that you can continue to have it grow. Because
Mhm.
it says, but God gave growth. You see
Yeah,
that? God gave the growth. One more
yeah,
time. God gave the growth, right? And then with that, when those doubts start coming in, I can do all things. Philippians 4:13. I can
yes,
do all things through him who strengthens me. You guys, this is going to be an impactful, it is going to be an encouraging, it is going to be a connecting event
yes,
for you to what? Be able to be part of that change effect
yes.
to create a destiny none like yourself. And actually, we're
Mm,
going to coin that changing people's destiny.
I like
And
that.
and I think that's the ideal of that. And Tina came up with that. So thank you to Tina. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Listen, we gonna
She
fly
ready to
away.
go. She ready to do this hybrid. Tina ready. Tina say, let's do it.
Tina, you gonna kill me, girl. You gonna kill me.
Tina
All
say,
right.
let's do it.
So we may have to go to Florida. I don't know because two of our speakers are in Florida, I think.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know. We
that's
may have to
true.
come to Texas. I don't know. We may have to come to
You know,
Hmm.
yeah,
We
whatever.
may have to come to Texas.
And I mean, and that's what I'm saying. That's being disruptive. Let's travel. Like people think that they have to do things that are within the norm, and I'm so glad that you talked about, naysayers and things like that. I always go back to Moses and his siblings of Aaron and Miriam. God told Moses what to do. They laughed and talked about him, and what did he do to Miriam? He struck her dead. So we need to be careful how we put our mouths on people, especially guys anointed. We need to be quiet. And even if we don't understand what they're doing, let's pray for them. God, I don't know what Dr. T over there doing, but I'm just going to pray for her. Keep your mouth off of people because you just don't know how you diminish your blessings
Yeah,
when you
that's
talk about
true.
his and you're doing what God empowered and told you to do. And I'm glad
Yes,
that you're doing it. You are on track. You are doing what is right. You are doing what is correct. And to me, it is perfect for the time that you are in and the people who you serve. So the naysayers, God gonna take care of them. Not
yeah.
maybe not a physical death. I ain't trying to put that on nobody.
Oh no, we're not doing that.
Yes.
What she
Well,
say?
then you're gonna have to
She
come now.
said,
I'm
"I've
not
never
a
been to
Cowboys fan,
Texas."
I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm just
How
telling.
you in Texas and not a Cowboys fan?
I'm from Louisiana and don't like the Saints.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a whole nother topic. So listen, guys, we're also gonna try to put together. It may be a little late because everybody's schedule is so off. So we'll figure out a way where we can get all the speakers on here at once. Tina said that StreamYard we can get up to 10 people on here.
Yes, you can have up to 10 people in StreamYard. Yeah.
Okay. So we may have to figure out how to get that done. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Lakeisha, for coming on. Go
Thank
ahead
you.
and get your tickets to Sharp
Yes.
Sexy Sisters event. Yes, we're gonna have guys. Y'all get out of your heads. It's about empowering others. It's
Right.
about networking. It's about really um as um as we move forward, right? It's about being disruptive,
Yep.
right? It's about being disruptive. It's about, you know, changing people's destiny. And
Yes.
so when we say changing, I'm going to just highlight really quick on that. When we say changing people's destiny, it's not about really your it's about your transformation.
Right.
God molds us into
Mm-hmm.
what he wants us to mold. And
Yep.
part of our vision is making sure that you get there. There's a journey, there's a destiny, and that's about making you
Mm-hmm.
fulfilling that. So thank you guys for watching. Lakeisha, stay on for just a minute.
Okay.
Get that ticket today at sharpsexysisters.online. Yeah, this is what we're about. Thank you for watching Coffee with Dr. T today. Again, we hope to be able to bring more speakers on to be able to provide valuable content and, of course, spiritual based and scripture based content for you to be able to learn, grow, and win in every aspect of your life. And what does that mean? Welcoming in the new you, investing in yourself, and to never give up on you. So, again, our foundation for today is 1 Corinthians 3:6 and Philippians 4:13. This is your girl, Dr. T, with Lakeisha. Let me get our names back with Lakeisha Mosley from LM Experience. We will see you guys on the other side. Be blessed.